In this section, I'm going to show you how you can translate an object. And of course, translating an object is different from panning an object. With translation, I mean move the object itself. But with panning, that you can achieve it by just pressing the middle mouse button. You can see that the object doesn't move. As a matter of fact, the viewpoint moves from one place to another place, and the object is in its original place. So for translation, you can have the toolbar. For toolbar, you can easily go to View, to Toolbars, and from here find Transformation Features. And under Transformation Feature, translation is one of the objects. But for my purpose, I prefer to go to Menu, and from Insert Menu, I can go down, and here I can have Transformation Feature. You can see that I have translation here, rotation, symmetry, axis to axis, and some other commands that you can see here. We are going to examine all of them, of course, during our course. So let's start with translation. If I click on translation, this question is going to appear in front of me. It says, do you really want to keep transformation specification? If you do not want to, move your geometry using the compass or 3D constraint. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to go for these options. I prefer to translate using this specification that I have. So I click on yes and go to this dialog box. The translation definition gives you 3 options. You can choose to have direction and distance. You can open this menu and see from point to point you can move your object. And also you can move based on coordinates, and this one is more precise, and of course it is easier to go. But direction and distance, sometimes you want to move your objects based on a direction and to some specified distance. If I go with that, it says what is the direction that you wish to have. Let's say that I had a line here created. So I can right click here and go and create a line. Let's say that I have compass direction here. So I can choose to enter the compass direction based on the component that I have. Or let's say that I have a plane selected. So if I prefer to choose a plane, I can easily go and select one of these planes. Let's say that I'm selecting YZ. And if I click on that, you can see that the direction is going to be defined based on the plane that I selected. How much do I want to move this? Let's say I want to move this about 150 millimeters. So if I click on OK, you can see that it moved perpendicular to the plane that I selected, in my case, YZ plane. Let's press Ctrl Z on my keyboard. And what I'm going to do is to go to this command set one more time. And I'm going to click yes here, press yes. And instead of distance, I'm going to go from one point to another point. I can have some points defined before. I can choose some of the points like on the verges of this object. Or I can just go and define the points right here. So what I'm going to do is to define a point. So let's create a point here. The coordinates of the point is going to be something like minus 250 for X. 250 for Y, 250 for Z, and you can see that I have this point here, and I can select the end point other way. So if I select the end point, let's say that is going to be my end point, and I click on OK, my object is going to move as far as I wish. So if I check my object, you can see that the object has moved to this place based on the specification that I provided for the object. Now I'm going to go to this toolbar, to translation toolbar one more time, and this time instead of selecting a point, I'm going to select a coordinate. So I can choose the default axis system, or I can define a new axis system. Let's say that I want to move this to 100 millimeters on X direction, and you can see the preview here, and let's say that's going to be 150 millimeters in Y direction. The object is going to be here. So I click on OK, and you can see the object moves to the place that I wish to move it. So this is the translation command that I just spoke about that.